Hey math kids, today we're going to talk more about the unit circle, and specifically we're going to talk about multiples of, pi sixths and pi fourths. So we're going to learn how to go around the unit circle like that. Okay, so it wants us to find the exact value of this angle 3 pi fourths. So I think before we need to conceptualize where that's at. And so the way that I do it, I just estimate what these points are. So this is 0 or 2 pi. This is pi halves. This is pi. And this is 3 pi halves. So you're just going to want to memorize that. Okay. Now I'm going to just estimate. So I'm going to just think of pi as being 3. So this is 0 or 6. This is 3 divided by 2, so it's 1.5. This is just 3. And then this is 3 times 3, which is 9 divided by 2, so it's 4.5. Now I'm going to estimate this in the same way. So if I do 3 times 3, I get 9 divided by 4. What is that? 9 divided by 4. 2.25. So 2.25 is going to be somewhere in between here. Now, I'm not concerned like specifically where it's at, but I just know that I'm going to have an angle that's in this quadrant. So that's really what I'm looking for, is which quadrant am I in. Now, because I know that this value right here is pi halves, I'm going to subtract pi halves. From that, and that's going to give me the remaining angle. And so to do that, I'm going to take this, multiply it by 2 over 2. And so we get 3 pi fourths minus 2 pi fourths. And that gives, if I do the subtraction, it's just pi fourths. So that means the angle from here to here is pi fourths. And so if we look at our original tick marks, we get pi fourths. That one is, that's not right. The first one is pi sixths. This one is pi fourths. And then this one is pi thirds. Okay, I know it's kind of messy, but hopefully from the other video where I talk about this more in depth, that makes sense. Now, we know that the value at that point is square root of 2 over 2. Square root of 2 over 2. And so we're just going to reflect that across, because I'm using the one that was the pi fourths, by the way, because this is going to be the one in the pi fourths. However, the x value is now going to be negative, so it's negative square root of 2 over 2. And then square root of 2 over 2, because the y value is still positive. And we're trying to find the sine, cosine, and tangent of that. So this is going to be the cosine of alpha. Sorry, they used alpha instead of theta. This is going to be the sine of alpha. And then for tangent, we need to divide it's y over x. And so it's square root of 2 over 2 divided by negative square root of 2 over 2. And so we flip that second one, and we multiply. Cancel, cancel, we have our negative still, and there's a 1. So our tangent alpha is equal to negative 1. Okay? Now we're going to go through the same process. This time we're going to find alpha 4 pi thirds. Alpha is equal to 4 pi thirds. And so we go through the same process. Draw our unit circle. This is 0 or 6. This is 3 or 1.5. This is 3. This is 4.5. Now, these would basically cancel because 3 over 3, so it's just 4. So we know that we're in this quadrant somewhere. Okay? Then we subtract out what was here before. So this is really pi. So we're going to do 4 pi thirds minus pi. And so that's like 3 pi over 3 with common denominators. And so we're going to end up with pi thirds. So pi thirds is actually our biggest rotation. And so I'm going to draw this just a little bit different. I'm going to draw it closer to here. Because when we're doing our 3 tick marks, pi thirds is this one. Okay? Now, if we want to do like our symmetry, so we have that, so we're right here. And then we have this, this, and this. The symmetry is going to line up with this point. So we go up to, let's see, I'll change colors to hopefully make that visible. So the symmetry goes to there, and then the symmetry goes to there. So we want to know the point of this. This rotation is pi thirds. And so if we remember that from the unit circle, or you can look in your book, that third rotation is 1/2 comma square root of 3 over 2. And so when we go here to here, it's going to have the same values because of the symmetry. Or I guess we could just also look in the book. The thing is, you do want to know how to do this without looking at the unit circle. You need to have a fair amount of this memorized, because when you take the IB test, they don't give you a unit circle. Okay, so those are the values right there. So once again, that's our cosine. The y value is our sine. And then our tangent is going to be y over x. We flip the second one. Multiply. 2's will cancel. Negatives will cancel. And so we end up with just the square root of 3 for our tangent. Okay, so I'm going to cut the video there and make a part 2. If you need additional math help, just come to Math Lab. Calculator.